It started for an opening statement on this team.
Look, after last weekend, the Eagles, one of the best teams in the NFC, they are getting beat this weekend by the Dallas Cowboys. The juice Dallas is playing with, their additions with Clark, Williams coming in, trading for Logan Wilson. The defense is playing with their hair on fire right now. Look, last week against the Lions, it was a little too windy for the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff was dressed like he was in a snowstorm with the turtleneck and everything else going on. It's not windy in Dallas. Dallas beats them this weekend in Dallas Stadium.
I hope Stephen A. Smith is listening. I got one on my side. Let's dive into that game. Let's dive into those teams. Let's actually look at the Philly side of this. Jalen Hurts talking about a report from The Athletic that some teammates have grown frustrated by his approach, specifically his hesitancy to throw the ball into tight windows against zone coverage. This is something we've been talking about forever, frankly. Veteran reporter Derek Gunn added the frustration stems primarily from Hurts, quote, playing his game instead of taking what is discussed during the week and transitioning it to game day. So this is getting bad. Hurts was asked about it yesterday.
I guess I get a lot of attention when things are going well and when things are not going so well. And so I never run away from holding myself accountable and take great pride in what we do on offense. I take great pride in how we go out there and play as a team and what our flow is. And so we obviously got work to do, and I think that obviously starts with me.
Things haven't been brought to you directly?
I don't want to get into that. I know it hasn't, though.
How about you personally?
Y'all bring it to me. I mean, I think it's a bit of a different thing. Again, I don't want to get into the weeds of anything ultimately.
So obviously this 2-8 Eagles team is falling apart, and you can see the impact it's having on the quarterback. No, wait a minute, I'm sorry. They're 8-2, they're the defending Super Bowl champs, and they're currently the 1 seed in the NFC. What the world is going on in that locker room? How can it be like this?
What's going on with Hurts is so disingenuous and disrespectful to Jalen Hurts. And I'm not the biggest Jalen Hurts fan. All this dude does is literally everything that everybody begs every other quarterback to do or knocks them for not doing. This dude is 51-14 since 2022. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's won 1. He's been the MVP essentially in both. He was the MVP of the Super Bowl last year. All he does is win. All he does is be obsessed with football and winning and doing what's best for the team. And we're just finding ways to knock him or take shots at him or report about this about him or that about him. We heard this stuff last year about him being disliked in the locker room. And he never wavers. He never flinches. And it's this constant attack. We kill guys. Joe Burrow, does he win enough? Dak Prescott, does he win enough? Matthew Stafford didn't win enough in Detroit. Josh Allen doesn't win enough. He can't win the big game. Lamar Jackson can't. All Hurts does is everything that we beg for those quarterbacks to do.
That's right.
And all we want to do is kill them because it doesn't look the same way or the way that we want it. And I've done it before in the past as well. I don't understand why we are obsessed with trying to knock Jalen Hurts right now when he does the only thing that people actually care about.
So why are we? You're a receiver. Obviously, his receivers are at least part of this conversation. When you're winning and the offense looks the way this has looked, are they happy? Are they knocking him? I mean, obviously, this stuff is not coming from nowhere. No one is questioning the validity of the report. If it sounds like that's what we're doing, that's not what we're doing. What we're doing is we're asking why in the world this stuff is bubbling up like this on a team that has done as much high-level winning as Dan is talking about.
Because when the company's not operating at full strength, you blame the CEO. That's how it goes. He's the quarterback. He gets paid the high money. He said that even in his quotes of like, this comes along with the territory. Now, is it Jalen Hurts' problem? Is he the reason why their offense not has sputtered, but it just hasn't reached full potential because you have so many players that are so well paid and so talented that you're not getting that output. So, yeah, people are going to need a thing to blame.
You just asked a question. Give me the answer.
I don't think he's to blame. I think it is another offensive coordinator like he's had over the last decade. I think it is the Philadelphia Eagles having to spend time every August, go through a whole new scheme, and figure out exactly how to leverage the talent they have with this scheme, and it never develops past year 1 because they continually change who the play callers are.
The blame of the offense falls strictly on the run game. That's why this offense has looked the way that they've looked. The fundamental starting point is the run game. Last year, at this point, Saquon Barkley had like 1,200 yards before contact. Right. This year, he's got like 500. That's almost cut in half. Okay, so the run game has been significantly decreased. Saquon has as many negative runs right now this year through 175 carries as he did last year through 345. So if we want to ask, what is the one reason why this offense has looked the way it has this year in comparison to last year? It's because they cannot run the football well consistently.
Right. They were creating explosive plays without any risk. It's the best thing you can do.
But let's blame the quarterback.
Football. But now they're not creating those, so they're not willing, and they're not willing to take the risk, so they have no explosive plays. They're winning on the backs of their defense. Chef, you get in here.
Okay, their run game may be struggling. There may be some issues. They are 8-2. They are the number 1 seed. They are the favorites to secure the number 1 seed. And if they are the number 1 seed, they would have to win 2 home games, 2 to get back to the Super Bowl. Every single week, it feels like we're mandated to lead this show with the Philadelphia Eagles, whether it's an A.J. Brown message, an A.J. Brown tweet, an A.J. Brown tirade, Jalen Hurts criticism, whatever. Every single week, and they're 8-2.
Right.
What are we doing here?
Can I point out that you led the show with the A.J. Brown tweet? Because we didn't. You said that last week, and I wasn't going to bring it up. But then you brought it up, so now we are reading leading.
We get to talk about them this week because they're also playing the Dallas Cowboys. But yeah, they are 8-2. But again, everything that comes out of Philly, it feels like they are 2-8 internally. Like, yeah, I get you. I do think that we come after the quarterback, Jalen Hurts, a lot. But there has to be some validity to it. With every report, every sentence on a podcast saying he's super tight with A.J. Brown, and you can see when a situation between a quarterback and receiver sticks out like a sore thumb, but he won't go that much farther into it because no one is going to sit here and just fully point the finger at Jalen Hurts because nothing has happened yet.
But they are. Nothing's happened.
Right, it's kind of indirectly, and like it's all kind of passive around Jalen Hurts. Sure. But until something blows up, you can't necessarily just say it is Jalen Hurts. But that's where a lot of things, like last year, he had a great year, but this offense was exploding onto the scene. This year, you can talk about play calling. You can talk about Jalen Hurts' zone coverage, being in the pocket, not making throws on time, everything else. You can talk about the run game. But last year, they did have a run game. But in this year, they lead the league in what, 3 and outs?
3 and outs.
They lead the league in 3 and outs. They might have one good drive a game to where they look like that team. But outside of that defense carrying them, they do not look very good on offense.
But here's my thing. This isn't anything new with the way the quarterback plays. Years.
Yeah.
That's the style of play that Jalen plays it. He's probably a little bit more risk averse. But when it comes to the offense, do I think this offense right now, the way it's playing, could win the Super Bowl? I do not. I've been adamant about that. But I also have watched this offense that struggled last year, hit its stride when the playoffs mattered. I also know this. You mean to tell me that one of the, let's call it the most accomplished and successful quarterbacks over the last 3 or 4 years, 2 of the highest paid receivers, 2 of the highest paid offensive tackles, the highest paid running back, they can't play anymore? Those guys can't play anymore? So it's not just those individual players forgot how to play football or have fallen off the planet and can't, and one of the highest paid tight ends. There is a reality where this scheme isn't necessarily highlighting all the strengths. They got to play better up front. But the way we talk about the quarterback is the way that we talk about guys who are bottom 5 at the position, and it's disingenuous and disrespectful.
I think the big thing is when you look at those statistics, because I think you're right. You're saying that this offense isn't good enough to win the Super Bowl. I agree, right, the way they've played. But when you look at this roster, both defensively and offensively, they should be good enough to win the Super Bowl.
Totally.
So that discrepancy, to your point, like we can point to whatever that is. And I'm not saying it's the quarterback. I'm saying it's this new offensive coordinator in the scheme. In 2023, they started the season 10-1, and they imploded. And then going into last year, it was Sirianni and Jalen Hurts have a terrible relationship. There was another explosive article about this organization. They also started 8-2, and they won the Super Bowl. So can they win it? Absolutely they can because they have the horses in the stable.
Right.
But the reality is that they have to get better.
Someone needs to say out loud that this season, this team that can't win the Super Bowl has beaten the Rams, beaten the Chiefs, beaten the Lions, beaten the Packers.
Yeah, but this offense.
So they've beaten all of the teams that they would have to beat to do this again.
Yeah, but this offense is not good enough. Like, you're not going to beat in a playoff teams. You're not going to beat, or in a playoff game, you're not going to beat Seattle playing this way. You're not going to beat LA playing this way.